Hallo und willkommen zurück zu der Forgotten City mit eurer Eule. Wir haben ein Leben zu retten. Also noch eins. Ulpius springt nicht. Spreche mit ihren Worten. Ulpius.
Salve, friend.
Ja, hallo Octavia.
Welcome.
Ja, danke. Ich muss dringend mit Ulpius sprechen.
Well.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Ja.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing?
Lass mich dahin.
What?
Lass mich dahin.
I know,
Ich kenne das
please.
I'm
Gespräch.
sorry, but I...
Please, Ulpius. Help him.
Ja, hör auf mich. Ich werde mit ihm reden.
Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Ja. Glaubt ihr, dass Sentilla das wollen
You
würde?
know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone.
Ihr würdet mir nicht glauben, wenn ich es sagen
Well,
würde.
if you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want it all to be over.
Vielleicht kann ich eure Probleme lösen.
It's too late for that. Yulia and I made a pact. And she's already swallowed hemlock this morning. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her. I can't do that.
Sie konnte gerettet werden.
Oh, really? That changes things a little. But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts.
Ja, hab ich.
Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you then?
Nein, ihr werdet frei.
You'd do that for us? A couple of complete strangers. It seems today we're both blessed. This did not turn out how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed.
Versucht nur nicht mehr auf Leute reinzufallen. Hier ist euer Geld.
Thank you. I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
Nein, nein, du kannst mit mir reden. Ihr könntet mir von eurer Beziehung zu Sentilla erzählen.
Ah. And there it is.
Es hilft dir auch.
All right. Sentilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing.
Warum fangt ihr nicht von vorne an?
All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolis's villa, I heard a young woman singing. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the roof, just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her. Standing in the garden of the magistrate's villa, I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. And then she looked up and saw me and she smiled. I knew at that moment the fates had brought me to her. And from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, I knew I'd have done anything for her. And so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa and into her father's garden. We'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do once we got out of here. Like having our own vineyard. And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished in the night. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. Sentilla was the one thing that made my life bearable. But with her gone, things unraveled quickly. You saw how bad it got.
Könnte es sein, dass sie irgendwie geflohen ist?
All I know is she loved me. And if she had known a way out, she would have told me. She'd never have taken her own life. and there's no way anybody could have killed her under the golden rule. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear her voice in my head, crying out to me. That can only mean one thing. Somebody abducted her. I have no idea how, or who would want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. But what else could have happened?
Habt ihr irgendwelche Ideen, wer das gewesen sein könnte?
My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. He is without doubt the most evil man I have ever known. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in his villa, upstairs, which is always locked. I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able to steal a key without breaking the golden rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, it would shed light on a great many things.
Das habe ich schon versucht, da drin gibt es keine Anzeichen von Sentilla.
Oh, I see. That was the only idea I had. I'll give it some more thought. Come and find me a little later. I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Julia the good news. Thanks again, friend. I'll never forget what you did for us.
Hügeltür geschlossen. Blöde Feuerschale. Und gibt es hier irgendwo was, was ich nutzen könnte, um hier reinzukommen? Sieht nicht so aus. Ah. Nope, da ist jetzt kein Loch im Fußboden, da sollte ich nicht runterspringen.
I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Haben wir eigentlich schon ausführlich miteinander geredet? Ich weiß es nicht mehr.
What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it. I'm thankful that you're here. Can I help you with something?
Achso, das ist die Christin, genau. Halt, ich werde jetzt gehen.
That's a shame. Another time then.
In Ordnung. Auch verschlossen. Stimmt. Das bringt uns vielleicht rein. Aber ohne Schlüssel? Hallo Sisyphus. Wird das nix.
Salve, friend.
So, dann gehen wir mal Malleolus besuchen.
Salve.
Hallo Julia. Julia, Moment. Julia.
Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. Galerius just saved my life. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
Ja. Was wisst ihr über das Verschwinden von Sentilla?
No. I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. She was such a lovely young woman. But I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing, so I can't help you, I'm afraid.
Schade. Na gut. Was ist eure Geschichte?
You mean my life story? Oh, well, I grew up as part of a big family in Rome. Me and 3 older sisters. Our father found good husbands for my sisters, but I wasn't cut out for that kind of life. So he found me a job as a scribe for a prominent merchant. It was a good life for a while, until 7 months ago when the fires came. My colleagues and I worked desperately to try to protect our warehouse. We must have had 100 workers passing buckets of water, chanting prayers to Vulcan. But they fell on deaf ears. The fire was relentless and it claimed everything and everyone. Well, almost everyone. My employer told me to grab what valuables I could and flee for the Tiber with the crowds. I remember diving into the river and then... the next thing I knew, I was waking up on the riverbank not far from here.
Also wieder Fluss.
Thank you. I consider myself fortunate. At least I'm still alive.
Wisst ihr, wie man hier rauskommt?
If that's your idea of a joke, it's not funny. Go away.
Entschuldigung. War eine doofe Frage.
I know what kind of person you are. Leave me alone.
Na gut. Die ist zu Recht sauer. So, da geht's Richtung Theater. Aber Malleolus guckt nach mir. Für dich irgendwie davon überzeugen, mit Livia zu reden. Ja, ich weiß.
It must be completed by dusk, just the same as it'll be between Sentius.
Ja,
Why do you?
Okay, gut. Hier können wir also abkürzen. Ich will gerne
I like the idea, but I know Galerius well, and his position has always been that he won't run unless Malleolus withdraws. It was only yesterday that he said to me he'd only ever run if it was absolutely necessary to make sure Sentius wasn't re-elected. So, I suppose if you'd like to see Galerius elected magistrate, you'd need to persuade Malleolus to withdraw somehow.
Gut.
Certainly.
Dann gehe ich
See you
jetzt
again soon, I hope.
und spreche einmal mit ihm. Bin schon wieder in die falsche Villa gelaufen. Nehmen wir halt die Abkürzung. Und nach oben. Nein, ich möchte niemanden erschießen. Nicht durch. Vielleicht bringt es was, erst mit seiner Frau zu reden. Die Tür ist offen.
I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens, under my leadership you will finally...
Was ist denn los?
I'm not supposed to be in here.
Na gut, ich weiß noch nichts über Claudia.
Talk? What business could you possibly have with me?
Wisst ihr etwas über das Verschwinden von Sentilla?
The dainty little thing from next door? Of course not. As much as I despise her father, I would never lay a finger on that poor, sweet child.
Ich glaube, ihr verheimlicht etwas.
Well, I've had quite enough of this.
Domitis, come quickly. We're being robbed.
Lulu. Bin gar nicht da. Hallo.
Did you just scale the wall to my villa somehow? I must remember to have words with that buffoon Domitius. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
Wisst ihr was über das Verschwinden von Sentilla?
Of course not. But as I always say, if Sentius can't protect his daughter, how can we trust him to protect this city?
Aha. Also ihr seid Quintus. Erwischt.
My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else.
Ihr habt ein grünes und ein blaues Auge, genau wie in der Beschreibung von diesem Hinrichtungsbefehl von Kaiser Nero.
You mean my heterochromia? I am guilty of nothing more than having different colored eyes. And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more.
Ne, das mit dem Größenwahn scheint zumindest bestimmen. Aha.
Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish.
Na gut, ich kann es noch nicht beweisen, aber das werde ich.
Unlikely, because it simply isn't true. Now, was there something else you wanted? Of course not.
Ja.
But
Was verschweigt ihr?
look, if you're trying to find her, you may wish to check the cisterns beneath this villa. Domitius says he saw a body there some weeks back. Of course, just to be clear, I take no responsibility for what happens to you down there.
Ich weiß, dass da unten ein Monster ist, aber na gut.
I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time? There's a key just beside it.
Den habe ich schon. Ah. Auch irgendwas, was beweist, dass er damit zu tun hat. Also, dass das sein Name ist. Das ist die Nachricht von Julia. Den Abschiedsbrief brauchst du jetzt zum Glück nicht mehr. Das ist der von Ulpius. Eine Vase. Sehr hübsch. Vorratsraum. Ulpius ist jetzt auch nicht da. Mal schauen. Kann ich ihm vielleicht was über Malleolus erzählen?
We're finally alone. I assume you already...
Ja, ja.
We have? I must have entrusted you with figuring...
Ja,
Is
ja.
that about right?
So.
Seems rather brash, but all right.
So. Wer die goldene Regel
Of
brechen
course.
soll.
What is it?
Habe mindestens eine Person davon habe bereits herausgefunden, wie ich mindestens eine Person davon abhalten kann, sie zu brechen. Was jetzt?
Well, if you've stopped one person from breaking it and you're still here, then there must be someone else about to break it still. Allow me to explain. When I discovered the ritual to Proserpina, the instructions came with a warning about paradoxes. The crux of it...
Ja, das hatten wir schon.
Excellent. It looks like...
So.
Of course.
Ich weiß, wer es ist.
Why do you
Malleolus.
say that? What? I'm... Well then...
Ja, bla, das hatten wir auch alles
Better not
schon.
waste... Good. Thank...
Na gut. Dann reden wir doch nochmal mit seiner Tochter. Sentilla.
I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
So, ich möchte über Sentilla sprechen.
Oh, you heard about her disappearance,
Ja,
I take it.
von dir, aber das ist nicht so wichtig. Ich weiß, mit wem sie zusammen war, es war Ulpius.
Oh, really? That commoner in debt bondage next door thought he could win over a magistrate's daughter. That's awfully bold of him.
Das ist dein
I can
einziges
see
Problem?
why she worked so hard to keep it a secret. Quick, go and find him and ask him what he knows.
Habe ich schon gemacht. Ich habe bereits mit ihm gesprochen. Ihr Verschwinden betrübt ihn sehr. Ich bezweifle, dass er schuld daran ist.
Oh, I see. Well, it was worth a try, I suppose. Just promise me you won't give up on her.
Nein, werde ich nicht. Ich verspreche es.
Thank you.
So, ich möchte aber noch mehr mit dir reden.
Oh, look, you're back. How lucky for me. What is it now?
So,
Oh, you heard about her disappearance?
ja. Ich habe diesen Anhänger in der Zisterne gefunden. An den wir immer gehört.
That's Sentilla's. The question is, what was it doing in the cistern?
Ich habe ihn am Hals eines Skeletts
A
gefunden.
skeleton? Oh, God. You mean she's...
Ich weiß nicht. Irgendwas daran fühlt sich für mich nicht richtig an.
What do you mean?
Ich bin mir einfach nicht sicher, wie sie innerhalb von nur 3 Wochen zu einem Skelett verkommen konnte.
But didn't Domitius say there's some kind of creature down there that killed and ate Hannibal? Could it not have attacked her too?
Was hat er? Die Frage, was eine Frage für mich aufwirft. Was, wenn das Skelett Hannibal gehörte?
What are you saying? That somebody crept down there and put Sentilla's amulet on another body to make us think she was dead? Why would anyone do such a thing?
Ob sie das selbst getan hat? Vielleicht haben sie entführt und wollen, dass wir aufhören, mit ihr zu
But
suchen.
who? Who could have a reason to do that?
Oh, da fällt mir gleich jemand ein. Malleolus, er würde alles tun, um eurem Vater zu schaden. Domitius ist ein Widerling, bla bla. Ulpius, der Liebhaber... Nein. Horatius, er hat den Zugang zu ihrem Amulett und wird für ein wenig kalt zu lassen. Nein. Sensius fand heraus, dass er einen heimlichen... Was? Er fand heraus, dass sie einen heimlichen Liebhaber hat. Achso, ich wollte gerade sagen, wieso hat er denn einen? Malleolus.
That is an extremely serious accusation. I take it you have something to back it up.
Nein.
So this is just baseless speculation then? I've heard enough. I won't have you peddling scurrilous gossip about my sister's tragic death. Kindly keep your insane conspiracy theories to yourself and leave me alone to grieve, you barbarian.
Heute habe ich ein echtes Talent dafür, die Leute zu verärgern. Ist das nicht schön?
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little stirkers? If I cop an earful from Malleolus, I'll be coming for you.
Ja, Versuch. Ich muss Ulpius finden. Könnte er nur sein? Ulpius. Ulpius, wo bist du?
Still here?
Ja, ich suche deinen Angestellten. Obwohl, der ist jetzt ja gar nicht mehr angestellt. Der ist jetzt ja frei. Was mich dazu bringt, kann ich auf der... Oh, ich habe mittlerweile 2 von seinen Schlüsseln. Schlüssel zur Palasttür, Truhe, Holloschrein, Behandlungsnotizen, Bürgerverzeichnis. So. Ich frage mich, ob ich das aktualisiere. Rätsel, Malleolus, Nevia, Sentilla, Sensius, Ulpius. Bürger. Nein. Aber ist er das nicht? Hey. Hi. Da bist du
Hello.
wieder. So. Fällt euch sonst noch ein Ort an, wo Sentilla sein könnte?
I feel like I've looked everywhere. At least everywhere I could get to. There are still 2 places I've never been able to reach. First, the palace. If Navia managed to get in, then I suppose Sentilla could have too.
Ich hoffe, sie
The
war nie
only
da.
other place she could be is somewhere in the cistern network. I remember hearing that Dooley had been poking around in the upper cistern before he was locked up. So you could ask him about it, I suppose.
Ich werde mich umgehend darum kümmern.
Friend. Thanks for the chat.
Nein, ich möchte noch mehr mit dir reden. Nicht wegrennen.
Shalom.
Was ist eure Geschichte?
You mean where am I from and all that? Judea, originally. But when I was a child, I moved to Rome with my family, Romanized my name and spent most of my life in the Jewish district of Trans-Tiberin, across the Tiber from the main city. That's where I was when the fires broke out. Everyone was running toward the river and I, listening to my inner contrarian, ran the other way. Every road leading out of Rome was in chaos, full of people with all their belongings in carts and brigands preying on them. Several hours down the Appian Way, I saw another Jewish family being attacked by 3 opportunists. So I picked up a branch from the side of the road and went to defend them. I can only assume they got the better of me because the next thing I knew, I was waking up in a forest, by a river not far from here, with no memory of how I got there. It's strange though, because I still had my purse on me. Why would a robber knock me unconscious and throw me in a river, but not take my coins?
Du hattest mehrere Münzen dabei? Das ist seltsam. Die meisten anderen waren in Rom, bevor sie im Wald aufgewachten. Aber sie sagten, ihr wart mehrere Stunden entfernt.
You're right. I always just assumed the river carried me, but I'm not sure I was anywhere near the Tiber when I fell. I'm sure it'll all make sense if we ever get out of here.
Wisst ihr, wie man hier raus... Ich frage erstmal die anderen Dinge.
Well, neither of us had a couple of hours to stand around talking about theology, law, and collective punishment, so I guess you're looking for a pithy summary? You remind me of an old story from my people about Hillel the Elder. He was approached by a Gentile and asked to explain the entire Torah while he stood on one foot. Obliging, he replied, "What is hateful to you, do not do to another. That is the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Go and learn." Of course, what I want to know is, what kind of a god sees a young woman abducted and does nothing about it? Not my God. That's for sure.
Wir werden sie finden. Gute Frage.
Thanks. I just wish there was a way to find out.
So. Wem werdet ihr eure Stimme geben?
Sentius, I suppose. I'd have to be insane to vote for Malleolus after what he did to me.
Ah, stimmt, wir haben eine Stimme mehr. Wisst ihr, wie man hier rauskommt?
But even if I did, I'm not going anywhere. I have unfinished business.
Das möchte ich ihm nicht erzählen, außer ich muss unbedingt.
All right, friend. Thanks for the chat.
Gut. Frage die Bewohner nach der Willen. Ja, Suche in der Zisterne. Ulpius habe ich befragt. Dann ist der nächste Schritt wohl tatsächlich in der Zisterne nachzuschauen. Und rauszufinden, was da... Hör auf mich zu unterbrechen. Mach deine Liegestütz. Ja, dann führt uns da wohl unser nächster Weg hin. Diesmal zumindest wesentlich ungefährlicher als die ganze Palastgeschichte. Aber das werden wir beim nächsten Mal machen. Ich bedanke mich fürs Zuschauen und auf Wiedersehen.